Keep your parrot healthy with my top tips in today's video. Keeping our parrots happy and healthy is always at the forefront of our minds when we are looking after our birds. So today I'm going to give you a few tips to think about in order to keep your bird healthy, but I would love after this video for you to leave your top tips down in the comments as to how to keep our birds happy and healthy. Tip number one, which is so important, as are the rest of the tips on this list, is to get your bird moving. Nobody wants a perched potato. If you have a perched potato who just sits in one spot all day, that is not healthy. Just like with us, we need to get our birds exercising, moving, and keeping active and busy. This doesn't mean they have to be flying around all day long. There's loads of other ways that you can exercise your bird. That can be getting them walking. You could be crawling around on the floor with them for a bit of fun. You can get them stretching by doing really big targets up and down and side to side. You can have them swinging on a lovely swing, which is going to use loads of different muscles in their body. There's loads of ways that you can exercise your bird, but make sure that they are moving around and keeping busy. You can even train your bird to use the entirety of their cage space. I have a video on that as well that can help you out. But keeping your bird busy is really important. Now, there's nothing to say they can't have a little nap or have a little chill down time, but if they're spending most of their day just kind of sat there not really doing much, then that doesn't make for a very healthy bird. Now, you probably won't be surprised to hear that number two on my list is to get your bird onto a healthier diet. We all want to make sure that our birds are eating healthy because, of course, what goes in is what you get out. And making sure that your bird is eating lots of yummy, healthy, bioavailable things is going to keep them in tip-top condition. Now, if you're really struggling, again, I've got diet playlists on here, guys. I can help you out. I've got videos on how to get your bird to eat veggies. But if you really are at the beginning of your diet conversion journey, maybe you've got a rescue bird who's only ever eaten seed, or maybe you've just only ever fed your bird seed and you want to do something different to help your bird out, you can start very, very small in your diet conversion process. So my friends over at Northern Parrots have very kindly sent over some of the Tops all-in-one seed mix. Now you might be thinking, why are you talking about seed mixes? Surely seed is bad. Seed is fine in moderation, but we can modify this seed mix to make it healthier so that it's kind of like what your bird already eats, but better. Now, this seed mix is already healthy, but what we can do is we can soak it. So we can soak this seed mix overnight in cool water, then give it a good rinse first thing in the morning, and then serve it up. And what that does is it starts the germination process within the seed, and it unlocks loads of bioavailable nutrients, enzymes, vitamins, minerals, loads of good stuff for your bird. And because it hasn't gone through the entire sprouting process that your bird might be nervous with, it's just slightly different to their usual dry seed. That is where a lot of birds start with their diet conversion journey. There are many commercial seed mixes which maybe have some more of the less desirable or too high value items in there. So this seed mix is actually quite healthy in itself. So in here we have barley, rye berries, spelt, kamut, buckwheat, millet and pumpkin seeds. So they are some really good seeds in here for your birds to try, and grains as well. But once you do that soaking process, it starts your bird trying kind of foods with a higher moisture content that maybe they have a bit of an aversion to start off with because they're not used to it. It also unlocks all of those nutrients for your birds, and it is just a really good first step in the diet conversion process. So again, massive thank you Northern Parrots for sending over this. This is something that my birds really do like, and if you'd like to get your hands on some as well, they have lots of other things in the Tops range, so do check out their website. Cleaning regularly sounds obvious, but it is something that is incredibly important for you and your bird. Not only cleaning the environment that you live in, you know, your actual room that your bird lives in, but also their cage. And unfortunately, sometimes we see images of people who are trying their very best with their birds, but maybe you have a look in their cage and they've got perches in there that have just got build up upon build up of poops on there. That's not very healthy. You want to make sure that you're not getting build up of poop on there. So if you find that you have any of those perches in there, again, we're not judging here. All we're saying is maybe let's just get rid of that perch and start afresh. Now, with our cleaning routine, we generally spot clean twice a day, and then we'll do a full clean once a week. And that works for us. You can do more if you want to, but any less, and it is harder to kind of keep on top of the poops and the feather dust and all the mess and all the, you know, veggies that they fling everywhere and things like that. And it doesn't take very long. You know, we've got lots of birds here. The spot clean takes a couple of minutes per cage, if that, maybe 1 to 2 minutes per cage. The full clean takes a little bit longer, but it is so worth it because we don't want to build up all those nasties in our environment. Now, I'm not saying that it needs to be completely pristine and everything like that. That's not possible when you live with parrots. You can't constantly be cleaning all the time. But we do need to make sure that we have some kind of routines in place to keep on top of the mess, because they are messy creatures. Next up is to be aware of the myriad of household dangers that could be a problem for your bird. It's really difficult with, a wild animal coming into our environment. There are unfortunately a lot of things that are dangerous to our birds, especially because they have an efficient yet sensitive respiratory system. So I've made lots of videos about this in the past, things like candles, air fresheners, wax melts, plug-in wall things, diffusers. You've got things like air fryers, self-cleaning ovens, anything with non-stick Teflon, PTFE, PFOA, waffle makers, donut makers, popcorn makers. Lots of different things can have toxic chemicals in that we may not even be aware of. So a part of being a parrot keeper is to just be hyper vigilant about anything you're bringing into your house, whether that's an electrical item, whether it is something that emits kind of smells and stuff, because again, our typical household cleaners, they're not safe to use around our birds because they are very chemical heavy, very artificial scent heavy, and that is an irritant to our birds. So that's why we need to be really careful about what we do actually have in the environment, what we're using, what we're spraying, because again, we don't want to be spraying anything in the environment either. What we use to clean with, cook with, even things, that are in our house that we might want to eat are dangerous for our birds. Avocado, for example, is exceptionally toxic, and we should never ever be offering avocado to our birds. I cannot stress that enough. Get those avocados away from your birds. If you like to eat avocado, hide them, keep them somewhere elsewhere, and make sure you're not sharing your food that day with your birds because they are toxic. Similarly, things like onions are not safe for our birds. Coffee, alcohol, fizzy drinks, that one drives me crazy when I see that on social media when people are offering birds fizzy drinks, because again, they can't pass these gas bubbles in their system. It's really uncomfortable for them. There are an unlimited amount of things that could be dangerous for our birds and jeopardize them being healthy. So if you're not sure, feel free to drop me a DM, drop me a comment, email, messenger, carrier pigeon, whatever you like, and ask me whether something is safe or not. And if I don't know, it's always better just to kind of avoid it, to be honest. But we need to be aware of some of these household dangers in our environment that could be dangerous for our birds. I also highly recommend for every single bird keeper is to have an air purifier. We have 2 in our home and they are amazing. I couldn't be without them now. They are fantastic for keeping on top of feather dust, general dust in the environment, and all the mess that our birds typically make. But not only that, I mentioned that birds do have a sensitive respiratory system. So if there are any kind of airborne things, these air purifiers, as long as you get a safe one, is going to, absorb all of that stuff, take it out of the air, and produce this lovely clean air for your birds. You want to make sure you get one with a HEPA filter and that does not have an ionizer. Again, if you need any advice for that, I have got some examples in my Amazon store, they're down below. But air purifiers are one of those essential things that I think, even if you have one bird or you have multiple birds, that you should have in your environment for your bird, because they really do help to keep the air clean, and that in turn can keep your bird nice and healthy. Let me know your top tips for keeping your birds healthy down in the comments. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.